Sebastian Wheldon is carving out his own legacy. With the heart of a champion and the Wheldon name, he's blazing a path in open-wheel racing. Spending time at a racetrack with Sebastian Wheldon, a Hoosier hero for 2025. It's kind of cool to have you here. Thanks for joining us at a racetrack.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm glad I can be a Hoosier hero.
A native of St. Petersburg, Florida, you've got a lot going on, though. Last year, the year before, you had spent time in Formula cars. What was it like transitioning from a very high level of karting in the U.S. to racing Formula cars the last 2 years?
Well, I started in, after my karting days, I went to Skip Barber. It's like a small little racing school, and then I worked my way up to USF Juniors, but I also won the scholarship in Skip Barber, so I was able to get like a discount on juniors, and the season went really well. I had the second amount of most wins, and the season went great in my end.
I noticed that with those 4 wins came some really fast laps as well. In races you weren't on the box, you still had some really fast times. How do you kind of balance that, knowing you had the speed? It may not have been a completely dominant season, but you learned a lot, didn't you?
Yeah, it was definitely a bit difficult compared to, I would say probably the most inexperienced running in the front of the pack, which was definitely a disadvantage on my end. Like all my other teammates and drivers had some advantage, at least driving multiple years in a competitive open wheel series. But yeah, it was still, I learned a lot, and I think it was definitely good.
You've spent time in Europe already. You've already won a Formula 4 race. It's been a quick progression, hasn't it, since your last race in the US and then literally going to Europe to find your next path?
Yeah, it's definitely been a big step. I mean, the drivers over there are crazy. Like they're really good and talented, and you learn every session, and you just want to keep learning and keep driving.
You and your younger brother Oliver had a chance in 2021 to be signed up. You guys are locked in Andretti Global Development Drivers. How has that paid off for you already, knowing that that progression is there, but the support of Gainbridge and Andretti and all your dad's old teammates are with you?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, Andretti's always been family to us, and also like the support from Den Towers, Gainbridge, for always helping us and making everything possible, and just like being able to be in contact with a lot of the IndyCar drivers that used to run with Andretti a while back. Just good. It's good to have them with us as well.
How does the Andretti connection? They're based in IndyCar. They've got an interest in Europe. You're now in Europe, with Prima now having an interest in the US. How does that all gel for you and maximize that for you?
Yeah, so basically, I know we just have to see what the next step is. I mean, Prima obviously just got a new signing for IndyCar with their team as well, and you just have to see how everything plays out and be in the right place at the right time.
When it comes to opportunities, you had one recently at St. Petersburg Grand Prix, your home track, your home race, celebrating your dad's year 2005 victory there. You and your mom and your brother got to do something pretty cool. What do you guys all get to do on IndyCar's weekend at St. Pete?
Yeah, so my mom was actually, she was able to wave the green flag, and I was actually able to drive like the pace car, not the pace car, but like the parade car around the track for a couple laps with some of my good old friends, and it was very enjoyable.
You just turned 16. So do you have a driver's license? Did you have to sign a waiver? Did mom have to sign the minor waiver? How'd that work out when you got to drive a pace car at St.
Well,
Pete?
I don't have my license, not even my permit. It's just I've been way too busy with like traveling to Italy and stuff like that. But I think my mom signed a couple waivers, I guess. I don't know.
She takes care of a lot, doesn't she?
Yeah.
With you and your brother now racing on different continents, it's going to be kind of different for you guys because your brother's kind of following the path you were here in the States.
Yeah, it's definitely, we made the decision about going to Europe a little bit at the end of last year. We were supposed to race in USF 2000, but I had a good test over there in Europe, and everything went well, and we decided to go that way, and we'll have to see how Oliver goes as well, to see if he wants to do American or the Europe route.
Quickly adapting to your environment, no question. When you tested in France, that was an indicator. But then you got to go to the Middle East, and you did okay in your first F4 race. Tell us about what you did there.
Yeah, so my first ever test was actually in Austria, Red Bull Ring, and it was good. And we had a lot of winter testing over the winter, and we had a race. It was like a one-off race. We're like, oh hey, how would you like to race in Yasmir? Just to like learn the track and like get familiar, because the Middle Eastern first round was over there, and it went good. I won the race. And all the different, like the standing starts and stuff I'm not used to, so it was my first time ever doing those. And yeah, it was definitely a good learning experience.
Hoosier Racing Tire has a motto: fueling passion, pride, and success. Let's take those one at a time. How do you find your passion? How do you throttle that passion? How do you wake up in the morning going, I got this? What's the passion behind what you get to do as a race car driver?
Probably, I mean, I don't know how to say this, but like Max Verstappen is definitely like one of my biggest idols. I mean, I follow him like all the time, and I just love his mentality and stuff like that. And like he has good passion as well for the sport. That's something I have as well.
Pride's the next one. When it comes to the pride in what you do, you take a certain character like your dad who's always like, I got to wear the nicest clothes, I got to look the coolest, I've got to have the best shades. What about your pride in what you do as an appearance outside of the race car and on the racetrack?
Yeah, I definitely don't like to look like, I don't want to look bad, but I also want to look pretty good, like when I come off the track as well, because you never know who's watching, you know? And you also represent brands and logos on your shirt, so you don't want to be acting or looking too crazy, you know, so.
And success, your success already has led to these opportunities. Do you value that? Do you say, okay, I check that box? I mean, how do you gauge your success? What is successful to you?
Definitely winning a lot of championships before, you know, going up to the highest level of motorsport, and winning races as well, and being a true champion, like being a good driver off the track as well.
Hang out, Sebastian Wheldon, 2025 Hoosier Hero, and his younger brother Oliver now joins us. He's racing USF Juniors on Continental tires this coming year, Sebastian. So what advice do you have for your younger brother?
Yeah, so obviously learning the tires. I mean, you already have experience on them from the academy as well, so I think you know like how well they are and how much grip they have, and just improve every session by session, and race people hard and clean.
A lot of attention paid for you guys. 2021, you signed up as an Andretti Global Development Driver. You're still a young guy. I want to go about the attention you bring forth with your dad's car number. What number do you use in racing and why?
I use 98 because obviously that was one of my dad's numbers, so I kind of just like took that from him and put on my car stuff.
What about you, Sebastian?
98, and I think it's very special that me and Oliver both run that number as well, because you know everyone can tell like who we are.
There's a lot of history to that too. American Motorsports, the Kerr-Bagajanian number going back that far, he was part of that ownership. Talk to me about your relationship you have with Colton Herta. IndyCar driver on the cusp, he's really good. How much did you guys learn from him knowing the relationship you have with his team and Andretti Global?
Yeah, I mean, we always look up to him as like almost a big brother. We know his family, we know him, and he's obviously a really good driver, and we can always, you know, ask him for some like pointers at a track, because he's probably been there because, you know, he's been racing a while, and, you know, we always can just look for advice from him.
Sebastian, what have you taken away from your times in the IndyCar paddock when you're racing and bouncing ideas off of guys, essentially at the same racetrack you get to race on?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Oliver said, but Colin also had a little bit of time in Europe as well, so he knows how things work over there as well, and I can just always ask him questions, because from Europe to the US, it's a lot of difference how people run things over there and how the people are as well, and it's good that I have people from Andretti that can help me with that stuff.
We are so happy to have you with us. Thank you, Sebastian Wheldon, 2025 Hoosier Hero, as well as his younger brother Oliver joining us here at a racetrack in Florida. Let's go racing, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.